We talked about the prevalence of chemicals and poisons in our body. What are some of the biggest sources of exposure today, you think? I mean, we talk about food and the air and all sorts of things. What are we exposed? What's the biggest source, you think, these days?
The biggest source is really going to vary from individual to individual, and sometimes it's not a poison substance. We can talk about that later. Sometimes it's the inflammation to the body of the electrical fields, which is sort of a non-substance poison, which I talk about separately. But otherwise, so for one person, the biggest source is that when they were a kid, and I have 2 people in my practice for which this is true, when they were a kid, they were one of the kids that was running behind the DDT trucks with the fogging of DDT going all over them, that the companies making DDT publicized on TV to show how safe it was. You can still put DDT truck spraying into Google or YouTube and see videos of that, and I have 2 patients that were in that. So for those people, they're loaded with DDT. The reason they're going to get cancer, neurological disease, lose their memory is probably more the DDT than anything else. And so I've got to work on pulling out just the DDT very, very slowly. For somebody else, the biggest thing is they're a swimmer. And there's way more chlorine in the swimming pool water than there is in your drinking water, because people are bathing in it, they're getting skin cells in it, some people are urinating in it, they have to have a whole bunch of chlorine in there. You're absorbing all that through their skin. So for some people it's chlorine. For other people it's the chloramines, which are worse than chlorine, that are in their filtered water in their house, because they just bought a water filter. It says, yeah, it removes 99.9% of all the chlorine, and they don't realize that their municipality, like most, doesn't use chlorine anymore. It's not strong enough. They've switched over to chloramines, and their filter doesn't remove chloramines, or removes 5% of it, and they didn't even know to ask. So they're bringing in a whole bunch of chloramines. Somebody else has chloramines, chlorine, and fluoride. Many people, because people don't like bugs, their house, either inside or outside, they have a contract with their local pesticide company. And so what's in them? Can't tell you, because different companies use different pesticides. If you're in a place like California, every 5 or 10 years they outlaw one because of how bad it is, but the ones they still have in there are just as bad. They just haven't researched them yet. So it could be a whole bunch of pesticides. If they're a gardener, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. If they're not eating 100% organic, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. So there's so many possibilities, plus all the things that are in the things that we use in our houses. So somebody happens to believe that if they clean the bathroom or the kitchen because of bugs that are there, and I don't mean insects, I mean germs, that they have to have something with ammonia or chlorine. No, you don't, but they think you do. Well, but the other stuff doesn't kill. Yes, it does. There's research on it. No, so theirs might be the ammonia and chlorine products that they use in their own homes. Somebody else, there could be other substances. They might be using a soap or a body lotion that has something that, I'm not sure if it was outlawed or maybe just in California, triclosan. And that's as an antibacterial agent in a lot of soaps. So that's another poison that could be in there. We've got other people that, between their toothpaste and their body lotion, if they use one, their liquid soap, their shampoo, if they're a woman, their cream rinse or conditioner, they probably have methylparaben, propylparaben, polyethylene glycol, polypropylene glycol, sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium laureth sulfate, sodium lauryl and laureth sarcosinate. All of these various different things in there, polysorbate 60, polysorbate 80, and our skin is like a sieve. If you put it on your skin, it's absorbed right into your body. And I don't like to say doctors are stupid, because stupid is technically has to do with IQ. And if you have a low IQ, you can't get through medical school. So doctors are not stupid. However, the word ignorance simply means you don't know something. So I am extremely ignorant of aircraft mechanics. That doesn't bother me at all. I'm not an aircraft mechanic. But when a physician is extremely ignorant of the toxin and detoxification, and is extremely ignorant of the published, researched benefits and uses of different nutrients, that's a problem, because those things would help their patients. So we have a lot of stuff where people simply don't know. So somebody asks their doctor, I just heard that I have to be careful. I should be filtering the water coming into my house because the chlorine and chloramines goes right through my skin. And I should be careful which body lotion I use and what soap I'm using, because the parabens and all the stuff is going into my skin. The doctor says, no, you don't absorb stuff through your skin. And I would like to be a little bird sitting on top of that patient's shoulder in the doctor's office and say, doctor, have you ever heard of transdermal prescription drugs? And the doctor says, yeah, sure. What are they? Well, that's where you put a patch on and the drug is delivered through the skin. Huh. And I say, and doctor, do they shave the skin and punch a bunch of holes in it to make it so that it'll go through? No, they don't do anything. They just put it right in the skin. So the doctor is, and this actually would be stupid, because this is not ignorance. This is them not realizing that if a transdermal patch can deliver a pharmaceutical, then of course we absorb through things through our skin. This is just not thinking. So yeah, we have a problem.